Hey, good day, folks. Welcome to another edition of Lumberjack Logic Live. I'm your host, Neil Johnson. Excited to be with you and excited to share the news with you. We've got great news tonight. I'm not even kidding on this, CNN fully admitting that Trump is winning. They go on and on about it. This is the craziest thing I've ever seen. Absolutely unthinkable a few years ago. This is the network that covered up for Joe Biden. Jake Tapper. Caitlin Collins. What else do I need to say, folks? So do me a favor, smash that like, because I guarantee you it's going to be good. Chat in with where you're from. Let's see who's on the stream and get this thing going. And I'll just give you a quick word from my sponsor. Since the Trump administration was sworn in, there's been enormous progress at a breakneck pace. You're going to see that here. But don't forget, while they're moving mountains for the good of the nation, they can't take your personal savings into account. That's your responsibility, folks. One of the best ways to look after your savings is through diversification, particularly with Birch Gold. My trusted friends, and in the past 12 months, the value of gold has increased over 40%. Central banks continue to bolster demand for gold by buying in record quantities. Global instability and tension have caused it to climb. Birch Gold makes it extremely easy to own physical gold or silver, and you can convert an existing IRA or 401k into physical gold and silver. So just text my name, Lumberjack, to 989-898. Again, that's Lumberjack to 989-898 to get your free info kit on gold. There is no obligation, just useful information, folks. All right. I'm so excited to share this with you. I'm going to just get right into this video. Let's cue it up. Watch this. CNN, 6 minutes straight. We'll interrupt it a couple times. And then I've got a really big thing I'm going to share with you. Somebody posted on X breaking down some other wins, and I really liked how they put it together. So we're going to share that too. But watch this.
The mission was carried out with stealth and with precision. There were no American casualties. And while Congress is divided after receiving briefings on the extent of the damage, I'm sure that we've derailed Iran's nuclear program, at least temporarily. And there's some valuable deterrent effect for America's adversaries who witnessed last week's exercise. Then last Tuesday.
So again, I don't know why anybody was upset about Trump taking the action that he had to take there in Iran. I still don't understand it. He did the right thing. It was absolutely amazing what they did. The precision, the stealth, all of it. So I give him a big kudos for that. But let's keep playing.
President Trump left the White House en route to Europe. At the time, there was a question as to whether Israel and Iran would honor a ceasefire. That caused the president to offer the most unfiltered, non-controversial, direct words that I can recall anybody ever saying about the Middle East.
We basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the they're doing. Do you understand that?
Cut to The Hague, where he arrived for NATO meetings and was able to wrangle an agreement from our allies to more than double their defense spending target from 2% of gross domestic product to 5% by 2035.
Folks, this is CNN. Do you understand what's going on? Are you watching this? This goes on for 6 minutes, and he's going to catalog all these wins. It is absolutely unbelievable that this is happening on CNN. They are taking their airtime to catalog all of his wins. More than doubled NATO's defense spending of the other nations. This is huge. He always said he was going to do that. He expected the other nations to pay their fair share, and they're doing it.
Also, while at NATO, in a press availability, he did something rare for Trump and I found rewarding. He showed empathy. It came in an exchange with a Ukrainian journalist who said that her husband was a soldier. She asked whether the U.S. would supply her country with Patriot missiles.
Are you living yourself?
Yeah, just real quick, the only thing I'd say to that point is Trump actually has shown empathy many times. So, but watch how he handles this. It's very good.
Now in
Ukraine? My husband is there.
Wow.
And
I can see you very, it's amazing.
And me with the kids. I'm in Warsaw actually because he wanted me to be.
Is your husband a soldier? No.
He is.
He's there now. They do want to have the anti-missile missiles, okay, as they call them, the Patriots. And we're going to see if we can make some available. I wish you a lot of luck. I mean, I can see it's very upsetting to you. So say hello to your husband, okay?
Also in that presser, he was more reflective and respectful than usual of our allies.
They want to protect their country, and they need the United States. And without the United States, it's not going to be the same. And I left here differently. I left here saying that these people really love their countries. It's not a ripoff, and we're here to help them protect their country.
Back at home, Trump claimed that he's reached a trade.
Real quickly, you guys know where I'm at on Ukraine. I don't trust Zelensky. I just want to throw that out there. I don't trust him at all. He's dancing around in high heels and skirts and slapping men's butts. He's just, something's wrong with that dude, okay? And he's out buying yachts and everything. But I don't think under the Trump administration that's going to be happening. If Trump is going to supply Patriot missiles, he will supply just Patriot missiles. And I think that's reasonable with Russia continuing to launch a lot of missiles at the country and actually targeting and taking out civilian populations. I've never thought that either of those guys was the good guy in that conflict. I'd love to see your comments in the chat, but I don't think Zelensky's the great guy. I don't think Putin's the great guy. Both of them have plenty going on wrong there.
Deal with China and soon expects the same with India. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick told Bloomberg that the deal was signed earlier this week. China's Commerce Ministry said Friday the two sides had further confirmed the details of the framework. Of course, Trump's initial imposition of tariffs wreaked havoc on American markets back in the spring. But now the markets have rebounded and grown. The S&P 500, NASDAQ hit record highs just yesterday.
This is so great, folks. Do you remember how they wanted bad economic news? They were desperate for it. They kept telling you that Trump's tariffs were going to cause massive inflation, take the markets down. We were heading up the financial cliff, and now we're hitting all-time high, and inflation is under control.
It's not just the stock market. Inflation, the great economic fear of recent times, seems to be tamed. The rate is now reported at 2.4%, down from a high of 7% just 4 years ago. Meanwhile, blue-collar workers have seen real wage growth of 1.7% in Trump's first 5 months. This is the largest such increase in nearly 3 generations.
Largest increase in blue-collar wages in 3 generations. 1.7% in the first 5 months. Annualized, folks, take that, double it 3.4, and then that's actually going to end up being about 4% wage growth year over year. This is absolutely awesome. What Trump has done, what these policies have done. And I just can't believe the people who, even on our side, who have freaked out about certain things, whether it's dropping bombs in Iran, which was necessary, whether it was the tariffs, whether it was some people are still freaking out over illegals being sent home. Oh, I didn't expect those illegals to go. No, they're all going.
Notwithstanding its impact on our national debt, there's also hope among some that Trump's big, beautiful bill will give further financial relief to blue-collar workers, as well as create incentives to build more factories in the U.S. Some already see this happening. For instance, General Electric has just announced that it'll invest almost $500 million in moving production of washing machines from China to Kentucky. And then there's the border. Crossings have slowed to a trickle. According to CBP's May update, Southwest border encounters have fallen to about 282 a day, a drop of 93% from last year, and the lowest
93 freaking percent drop. You know, I've got people on the right complaining that Trump isn't doing enough about immigration. Good night, he was getting stopped with injunctions on every time he tried to deport someone. And now they just got that, which we're going to cover next because the winning is even bigger on that front that you even know. It's incredible.
Since the early 1960s. Perhaps the loudest cheering for those border numbers is coming from America's Latino community, which might initially sound counterintuitive. On Thursday, Pew Research released an enormous data analysis of the 2024 election, which contained several surprises. High on that list, President Trump won a bigger percentage of the Latino vote than previously believed. Hillary Clinton had a 38% lead over Trump among Hispanics in 2016. Joe Biden beat Trump in this demo by 25 percentage points. Kamala Harris's margin among these same voters over Trump, just 3 points. Even more surprising, perhaps, Pew Research concludes that if everyone had voted in 2024, contrary to the widely held belief that higher turnout helps Democrats, Trump would still have won. The data show 44% of non-voters said that they would have gone for Trump compared to 40% of non-voters who would have gone for Harris. So if more had voted, his margin would have grown.
This is so awesome. This is CN freaking N. I just don't, this is the most unbelievable thing I've seen all day. Smash that like for CNN.
Yesterday came a huge decision from the Supreme Court. The High Court declared that federal district judges exceeded their authority when issuing nationwide injunctions against Trump's executive order on birthright citizenship. This will, of course, strengthen executive power both for Trump and for his successors. And finally, a Democratic socialist just won the nomination for mayor of New York City. And perhaps you're wondering, well, how does that affect Trump? It gives him the perfect foil, someone to play off in future political battles. This morning's New York Post references campaign literature for Zohran Mamdani, which advocates for increased taxation for, quote, richer and whiter neighborhoods. Just imagine what Trump will do with that. Winning became a punchline that Trump's opponents used to lampoon him in his first administration. He was a political novice then, surrounded by a team with which he was unfamiliar, and he was probably as surprised as the rest of us were that he won the election. This time is different. This time he came with a plan and a cabinet with senior advisors comprised of loyalists all well known to the president. And recently, he's exhibited a more layered approach to governing on both the domestic and international front, no longer solely guided by winning each day's news cycle. By any objective measure, President Trump has his opponents on the run.
Folks, that is so awesome. And I want you to think about what he said there towards the end. First off, the fact that if you would have had more people voting, Trump would have won by even bigger margin. Okay. But then also there, when he talked at the end, and I'm just gonna pull this back for you here. Here, let's go add that in.
Winning became a punchline that Trump's opponents used to lampoon him in his first authority when issuing nationwide injunctions against Trump's. And finally, a Democratic socialist just won the nomination for mayor of New York. Richer and whiter neighborhoods. Just imagine.
Can you imagine? Seriously, we've got this mayor in New York who wants to tax richer and whiter neighborhoods. I mean, he is a complete socialist, wants government-owned grocery stores in New York. This is complete fodder for Trump. It shows just how radical the left is becoming. And every single Democrat's lining up behind this guy. The other thing that I think was so important is when he talked about the cabinet picks and the administration itself. Trump did learn from his first administration. Do you remember all the leaks? All the leakers in that first administration? Just a bunch of Washington schmucks who backstab Trump all the time. Look at his cabinet. They pulled off the bombing of Iran with not a single leak. Complete operational security, decoy planes flying west while the real package flew east. It was absolutely the most amazing thing, and no freaking leaks. It's absolutely amazing. Okay. This is, I don't know. I just cannot even believe that's CNN. I got to mention my other sponsor, folks. You know, Mike Lindell at MyPillow, mypillow.com. Don't worry, I got a great segment coming up after this. But really quickly, free shipping. He's running that for the Lumberjack audience. Go to mypillow.com/lumberjack or call the 800 number. I'll put it up on the screen for you, 1-800-568-2865. The great thing about this free shipping sale is that even the mattresses and the mattress toppers are included in this. Oftentimes, those are not in the free shipping sales. He extended it to the mattresses and the mattress toppers for my audience because you guys were so helpful, of course. And we always get the best deals because you guys always support Mike. You know that. I mean, we actually do get the best deals. And you can use other promo codes and you won't get the same deals. It's really cool. And then we've got the energy drinks, everything. And the per kale sheets are $29.88 right now. So go check it out at mypillow.com /lumberjack or call 1-800-568-2865. Now let's look at this. I don't know who Carl Meta is, Meta, but he put together one of the best threads I've ever seen on X. President Trump hosted a press briefing at the White House. One by one, Trump and Pam Bondi delivered major announcements and clues on what's coming next directly to the American people. Here's everything you should know, and no joke, it gets crazier the further you read. The Supreme Court double victory, okay? Parental rights restored in schools and the nationwide injunction. But there was another big win there too, folks. But let's just play this first.
This morning, the Supreme Court has delivered a monumental victory for the Constitution, the separation of powers, and the rule of law in striking down the excessive use of nationwide injunctions to interfere with the normal functioning of the executive branch. The Supreme Court has stopped the presidency itself. That's what they've done. And really, it's been an amazing period of time this last hour.
It really is absolutely amazing. So I shared that video before, but just to kind of give you the foundation of this. Now, here's the cool thing, folks. The immediate policy avalanche. Policies now moving forward without court interference. Look at this. Birthright citizenship, sanctuary city funding cuts, refugee resettlement suspension, federal transgender surgery funding stop. Folks, these were all the things being held up by these district court judges. It's over. It's over. Do you realize how important this is and that it happened? I mean, I say this early, it should have happened even earlier, but that it happened this early into the term because now he is going to be able to steam and plow forward with his agenda before the next midterms. This is huge because there's no guarantees when those midterms roll around. All right, let's go back to this. So I'll skip that video because we don't need that. The shocking district breakdown. This is what I want you to listen to. Listen to this.
They turned district courts into the imperial judiciary. Active liberal judges have used these injunctions to block virtually all of President Trump's policies. To put this in perspective, there are 94 federal judicial districts. 5 of those districts throughout this country held 35 of the nationwide injunctions. Think about that.
Folks, that is nuts. Did you catch that? 5 districts were holding this all back. Out of 94 districts, 5 liberal districts issued 35 of the 40 nationwide injunctions blocking Trump's agenda. Okay.
94 districts. And 35 out of the 40 opinions with nationwide injunctions came from 5 liberal districts this country.
That's just nuts.
No longer. These injunctions have blocked our policies from tariffs to military readiness to immigration to foreign affairs, fraud, abuse, and many other issues. The judges have tried to seize the executive branch's power, and they cannot do that. No longer.
So that's huge. 5 districts were controlling policy for 330 million Americans, overriding the will of the voters. Do me a favor, smash that like, and if you're new, please do subscribe. Subscribing is free. The historical scale. Trump on the unprecedented judicial resistance. We don't even need to watch this video. It's just more nationwide injunctions than the entire 20th century combined. Nearly 700 federal judges could previously block presidential policies tied up in courts for years. It's done. It's over. The parental rights victory. Let's listen to Todd Blanche on this.
If not for the injunctions case, we would be here talking about another great decision that came down today, the trans books case, which restores parents' rights to decide their child's education. Seems like a basic idea, but it took the Supreme Court to set the record straight, and we thank them for that. And now that ruling allows parents to opt out of dangerous trans ideology and make the decisions for their children that they believe is correct. And so we thank the Supreme Court for that. There's been multiple decisions over the past several weeks that just show why this nationwide injunction ban had to happen. For example, what I mean by that is local district court judges issuing decisions that are clearly contrary to law just because they don't like the policy of President Trump. And when it gets to the Supreme Court has to correct it. But that takes time. The Attorney General thanked.
It does. And folks, here's the thing about this. Okay, I'm going to just pull this out for a second and just talk to you. I want to see your comments in the chat here on this. But look, what is the answer? Okay, because it's great that the injunction stopped, but you realize that the judges who issued those injunctions, those completely erroneous, unlawful, and repugnant decisions for those injunctions and temporary restraining orders, they're still on these federal judicial court. They're still on the federal courts. So it's great that the injunctions are gone. But still, if you bring a case just as a citizen in a federal court, you're still dealing with these activist judges. Do you think you're going to get a right decision? Yes or no? Do you think you're going to get an unbiased decision out of these judges who were this erroneous that they were overriding the will of the President of the United States and the people who voted for him? I mean, would you have confidence? I would have zero confidence I could get a good ruling out of these federal courts. So then my second question to you is, what is the answer? What is the answer? So there's multiple avenues, right? You can defund the federal courts. Congress can defund the federal courts. I don't know if that's the right answer. Maybe we don't need all these federal courts. Impeachment, the bar is too high. I mean, the Democrats will never vote to impeach communist judges because they're commies themselves. I always go back to that good behavior clause in the Constitution. These judges are obviously not exhibiting good behavior. So can't they just be canned? The good behavior clause, that's in the Federalist Papers, folks. I read that to you. What was that? Federalist 79? Let me just see here. Or was it 84? No. I think it was 78. I think it was 78. Federalist. Yes. Federalist 78. Okay. Listen to this. I'm going to read this again look, people say, well, the Federalist Papers aren't the Constitution. This is all part of the writings that derive the Constitution. All these writings are taken into consideration. Read Scalia's opinion on that. Okay. The standard of good behavior for the continuance in office of the judicial magistrate is certainly one of the most valuable of modern improvements in the practice of government. Now, listen to this. Again, this is Hamilton writing this. He is saying that this standard for good behavior for the continuance in office, meaning if they're going to continue in office, they've got to have good behavior. This is right out of the Federalist Papers. And it's one of the most valuable of the modern improvements in the practice of government. In a monarchy, it is an excellent barrier to the despotism of a prince. In a republic, it is no less an excellent barrier to the encroachments and oppressions of the representative body. And it is best expedient which can be devised in any government to secure a steady, upright, and impartial administration of the laws. But they're not acting impartially, see? Because they have to be secure. They have to be steady, upright, and impartial in the administration of the laws. They're not. They're violating the good behavior clause. So we have to be able to can them. And I really think that we need the administration looking into that more, because this is something on the horizon. I want you to think, President Biden got a lot of judges in on the federal courts. And you can see this because of the injunctions now. So it's a big problem. All right, back to this. The strategic legal approach. Let's listen to this.
What is the plan now? Are you going to try to implement the EO just in states where there isn't a legal challenge?
Yes, so birthright citizenship will be decided in October in the next session by the Supreme Court, unless it comes down in the next few minutes. I guess it could come down.
It did, didn't it?
Still deliberating right now on some cases. As you heard, we just got transgender books, which is a huge win, but most likely that will be decided in October in the next session. However, it indirectly impacts us because, as you correctly pointed out, if there's a birthright citizenship case in Oregon, it will only affect the plaintiff in Oregon, not the entire country.
See, that was the thing with these temporary restraining orders, is they would take in a district court in Oregon and then apply it to the whole nation against the president. It was absolutely absurd, but we did win birthright citizenship too. The terror gang numbers. I love this because, look, folks, I hear a lot of people complaining about Pam Bondi. Okay. I just want you to look at these numbers. 2,711 arrests of terrorists and gang members today. TDA, MS-13, Sonola cartels targeted. HSI investigations ongoing. Violent criminals are the priority. Was this happening at all under Joe Biden? Is this a vast improvement? Seriously, just tell me, yes or no, is this a vast improvement? Okay, so I just want the complaining to stop about the administration. They have so much work to do.
And on immigration, on a side note, today marks 2,711 arrests on these terrorists and these gangs. Total arrest today with HSI investigations. And thank you, Stephen Miller. Thank you to Homeland Security. Thank you to everyone working hand in hand with the FBI on all of these transnational gangs. TDA has been a huge terror to our country, as well as MS-13, as well as Sinaloa cartels. No longer. And on immigration.
Okay, now, folks, I know the Democrats are going down to prisons and meeting with these people, but come on. So this, I want you to hear what President Trump has to say here. It's only 23 seconds. Listen to this. I think it's very valuable the way he puts this.
These judges have attempted to dictate the law for the entire nation. In practice, this meant that if any one of the nearly 700 federal judges disagreed with the policy of a duly elected president of the United States, he or she could block that policy from going into effect, or at least delay it for many years, tie it up in the court system.
It truly is, a republic versus judicial tyranny. Okay. The constitutional restoration, Trump's framing, it brings back the Constitution, restores separation of powers, opposite of power concentration. It stops the judicial branch from stealing the executive authority. Okay. Now we are going to listen to this clip, but I just want, if you just joined the stream, the CNN clip is at the beginning. You got to go back and watch it. It is literally 6 minutes of CNN recounting all of Trump's wins. Okay. You got to see it. It's unbelievable, actually, with CNN. Right now, we're going over the presser with Bondi and Trump, but I want you to hear what Trump has to say here and why this was so important, because we need to move with speed on all of this, folks. We need to move with speed.
Do you believe this ends the power of the lower court judges to stop your agenda? Do you see this as a full green light for your agenda going forward?
Well, you'd have to really speak to the lawyers about that. But this is really also a decision based on common sense. It didn't work the other way. It was a disaster where somebody from a certain location in a very liberal state, or a liberal judge, or a liberal group of judges could tie up a whole country for years, because their decision would sometimes take years to overturn. We've overturned many of the decisions, but it would take years to do it. And we have to act quickly when it comes to illegal immigration. We have murderers, killers, we have drug dealers, we have what they've allowed to come into our country. Should never be forgotten. It should never be forgotten what they've done to our country. And we have to be able to act very quickly, and we're going to do that. Thank you.
Do you believe this ends the power?
This is such a great comment, folks. I got a super chat here from Justin Opinion. Great handle there. That Democrat lady, who's gonna wipe our asses? Do you guys remember that? I mean, it's who's gonna pick our cotton, who's gonna pick our vegetables, who's gonna wipe our asses. Democrats are the most racist fools on the face of God's green earth. I mean, I can't believe that lady actually said that right in Congress. Well, did she say that right in Congress, if I remember right? Did you guys see that clip? Though, some of you probably haven't seen this. Hold on. Let me see if I can find this for you quick. Because this is what I do for you. Immigrants wipe our... It's unbelievable. I believe this was right in Congress. She said this. No, it was a sitting member of Congress, but okay. Here we go.
Labor, and of course, we have to come to a place in Congress where it is no longer a political issue, but we see it as an existential issue for the country. If we don't have avenues for people to come here legally to work or to build a home here, I'm going to be really crude right now. We're not going to have anybody around to wipe our asses because we don't have enough people later.
She literally just said that, folks. I mean, I just, how many of you had seen that clip? Have you guys seen that clip before, or was that new to you? Was that just say new or old? Just comment. I'm curious how many people had actually seen that. She literally said, see, Janelle, I don't think Janelle had seen it because she's OMG in this thing. So see, like, this is the problem. I mean, it is hard. I mean, there's so much of this crap flying around. It's hard to even catch it all. So some of you have seen it and some of you haven't. See, that's the thing of it. Anyways. All right. Again, folks, just go check out MyPillow. Free shipping. It's a phenomenal deal. Plus, they're still doing the $100 in free digital gifts when you order $100 or more. Plus, the percale sheets are down to $29.88, any size, any color. Get these Rev 7, folks. You're going to love them. Those energy drinks. Best pre-workout drink there is, hands down. Plus, it does improve mental focus and clarity. And then right here, I want to draw special attention because Mike extended to my audience the free shipping on the mattress topper and the mattresses. Both great products, but I am telling you, if you need a new mattress, get it. My son and daughter-in-law got this. They absolutely love it. It's a combination of memory foam top and then an internal coil spring. It's a phenomenal bed. Mike designed that himself. So he's serious about you getting a good night's sleep. So go check it out at mypillow.com/lumberjack or call 1-800-568-2865. Again, that's 1-800-568-2865. I always encourage people to call the 800 number because then you're giving those people who work from home work. Again, if you just got on, you've got to go back. I know CNN sucks, but you're going to love the clip. You got to watch it. It's unbelievable. CNN going on for 6 minutes about how Trump is winning. Thanks so much for listening. If you're new, remember, subscribe. We'll see you on the next episode, folks. Peace out.